Yo, let's slide over here for a quick second. If you don't know me, my name is David Bronner. I'm from California, United States. And overall, what I do is help agents scale to 6 and 7 figures using organic Instagram and YouTube content. I've worked with some of the highest YouTubers in the world, Eric, worked with Mr. Beast's director, bunch of other like smaller, 500K to 2 million plus subscribe channels. And now I was a real estate videographer transferred to showing you guys how to make content on your own and freaking scaling to the moon. So most of you guys, especially if you're brand new, are still posting a ton of just listed stuff. Now, is that necessarily bad? No, but there's so many other ways you can do it. 9 out of 10 times, you can try, instead of posting a just listed video, sorry, a just listed photo similar to this, like 123 Main Street just listed, template that your photographer gave you, photo from the website, all that crap. So unfortunately, but that's kind of where we're at nowadays. It's 2025 today, and again, photos just don't work as well in this format. So old Instagram tactics are stalling your growth, and it's time for a shift. A lot of you know that it's time for a shift. A lot of you have known that for a while, just don't know how to actually do it, and that's what we're doing today. Stop shouting out just your listings, because again, most agents, what is it? The statistic that only even just like one or two deals a month is only like what 10-20% of all agents. So this is not what's bringing you clients. Like, if you're not working with an active client, then why even post about this? Again, maybe other agents can like work out that stuff, but they see it on their back end. Like, you don't need to post just listed. The agents see all the brand new homes popping up in the area. So again, it's not for realtors to see. And so if you're trying to attract people with this, no one's gonna just message you because like, oh, I saw you're just listed. We're starting to get into a house. Can we see that one? Maybe one deal a year will come from that. Not worth it to put in the effort. So just listed like these, maybe you've posted some of these, even if they're high quality stuff. Like even if they're again just listed, simple, branded with your face, with text. Like this is probably the best one that I mean. Like there, 10 non-boring yet still out of it, and that's for realtors. That's not even the actual listing. Um, but it's just saturated. Every agent uses the same template, whether you made it or your brokerage or your photographer. It all looks the same. So why pay extra for something like that? And they don't get engagement. These get very few likes. Again, almost zero DMs and leads, but it does get realtors to comment, which is okay. But I mean, if only thing agents are showing, if you're only getting agents commenting, you're doing something wrong. You are doing something wrong. And maybe you've thought that and you're like, how do I shift this? And it's pretty easy. But they don't build connection because your audience sees this as advertisements, not value, advice, or expertise. Because when you post this, I have a same, that's why I went from videographer, literal real estate videographer, pitching agents on doing it themselves, making these high quality luxury videos, agent disappearing, 3D text, maybe for the most luxury, 3 million plus, go ahead and do that. But all they do is get the one video, like make a ton of content at that home. Like you should be making honestly like 5 to 10 pieces of content per home you're at. And they're not. They're doing photos and maybe one or two videos. You can just use the simple skills. You can use your iPhone, a $60 iPhone gimbal, a good but not needed, like a little microphone, and an iPhone tripod. Like you can scale your real estate brand with that, which is like $250. That's all you need for a long time, unless you want a drone. But we're going beyond vanity metrics. So most agents chase likes, but not actual relationships. This goes back to what I was actually talking about here is imagine you see like a super high quality Instagram video. You may not realize it right now, but what triggers? Boom. Oh, like a sales resistance. When someone sees a video, scientifically, it triggers in their brain that it's probably an ad, which means they're going to scroll. They're not going to watch. You need to aim for like, I'm going to give you some gold right here, some good watch time analytics to aim for real estate agents. And if you go into your analytics, like if you don't know how to do this, get your phone out, go to your Instagram post, go to insights, and you'll see it there, which is your average watch time. Not like in all, but per viewer, average view duration. And with that is usually, depending if it's a 30 to, I'd say 45-second video, you should aim for 15 seconds of watch time. That's good. Over 17 seconds is great, which means you have an amazing piece of content that you should be reusing, re-optimizing. And 10 to 13 seconds is probably average. It's not terrible. Anything below that for a 45, 30-second video is pretty bad. Because what really starts here is you get views. This is the largest chunk of the pyramid right here till we get to the gold, is views and impressions. Impressions are technically views on Instagram. People who physically see the video. So it's just being seen. There's nothing to do yet. But next you get likes and comments. So this is surface level engagement. People who like, you can interact with, but people who comment are probably your highest qualified leads, aside from this next one, which is new followers. New followers and comments are your two most qualified leads that you're going to get as an agent on Instagram. But direct messages. So maybe you say DM me keyword for more info, or you say comment below for more info. Those are people who are physically invested into you. They made a step. Maybe they didn't even follow you, but again, like they wanted to hear what you had to say, which means new followers. Honestly, someone who comments low key might even be higher than a new follower. So yeah, someone who comments higher qualified than a new follower because they tapped follow, but that just means they want to see your stuff again. A comment, they took physical action. But you're going to build what? You have conversations in the comments, but eventually you have to move it to DMs right here, where you're building relationships. Plus, you're getting comments and new followers. But this is the top of the pyramid because obviously you're probably not going to like book a call with someone or meet them in person just through typing in the comments. So you have to lead to DMs, and that's where you push them, where you dig in, you find pain points, you find dream outcomes by asking them in a proper flow. So like you can acknowledge what they're saying, give them a little compliment for what they said. But then you need to ask another question with intention, diving into more pain points. If you ask, like here, I'll go into my Instagram right now. My screen thing goes away. I'm sorry, that's some of my saved posts. So I'll show you this here. Yada, yada. Let me go into some of my DMs right here. I want to show you a conversation that I had. Right here with Jonathan. So Jonathan's an agent in SoCal with like 15,000 followers. And so I'm like, bro, we were talking about AI. And I'm like, bro, send me like a conversation that you got left on red and I'll see like what I can work up with because on my Realtor Content Academy, we implement some AI strategies handling DMs. All I do is literally give it screenshots and it says what to say. So what he did was he talked to Lester. Lester commented a keyword. He said, here's some info for you. This is John messaging the lead, a commenter. Here's a location, HOA, listing price, 4-bed loft, everything includes, yada, yada. May I ask, is that something you are looking for? So he's saying 560 is a little much for him right now. So he said closer to Los Angeles and Glendale with a $500,000 budget. So maybe you'll get Lester to like 520, but 560 looks like a little much. So this was the rest of that conversation, which is John said, how big of a home? Didn't really say much, just literally just liked it and then just said a question. 3-bed, 2-bath. So obviously this is already too big of a home for what Lester wants and has in his budget. Lester, may I ask, is $500K what you're approved for? He said, no, not yet. Gotcha. So is there a certain monthly you want to stay at? Now, I did ask John to send me one here where he got left on red, but it was only an hour ago. I usually wait about 48 hours, maybe 24, to genuinely follow up with someone like this. If he left me on red on this message, I'll wait maybe a few hours, send a little message. But right here, I probably would wait like 48 before I ever say something again, maybe 24. And so this is what I told. I gave him this framework, which is everything my AI said. So I won't show you it all, but let me see. Is it this one right here? Uh, so here's what should have been said. Totally makes sense after like the after he said maybe no, not yet, or maybe even right after here, after he says 500K budget. This is what you'd want to say. Totally makes sense. There are still some creative options around that range, especially if you're open to a condo or a townhome style. Do you want me to keep an eye out and shoot you over a few that fit that area plus price point? So why is that good? Because let me see if it. Here we go. Acknowledging. Okay, we won't go into the framework here. I can't give away too much. Just kidding. I want to give away all to you guys. But again, here I said with the original message, because that's what he should have said, but he left me on red. What's something I can say to him now to bring back the conversation? And here's what it is. Hey, Lester, I just came across a couple homes closer to LA Glendale that are surprisingly in that 500K-ish range. Want me to send them your way? So you'd then send him the stuff and then follow up with another question, because then he might just leave you on red again. It works. It's light, non-pushy, implies value, recenters it. It opens it to a yes or like not now or something like that. Leads to an answer. So that's what I was. Let me see if I can. Where's my head space? I'm gonna try to. All right, I'm back. So I had to upgrade the camera. I didn't want to waste too much time dilly dallying. So sorry, guys. I'll be looking over here from my computer. But that was it with John. And that's how we redid and worked that conversation, turning them into leads. We are not pushing like pain points and dream outcomes has nothing to do with are you approved and yada yada. It was honestly an okay question to say what are you actually like looking for, price range now, to recenter it and find out what he's looking for. But someone literally asked you for a home's information, which means if you do it right, you can twist it to a call and a booked appointment and eventually a closing. So this goes down to the client magnet framework that I use. And so let's start with authority. So first of all, you do want to do some educating. If you want to like talk about rates and all that, I try to leave that away from your actual posts. If you want to rant and give value, something you learned, put it on your Instagram story, and then if you want to, save it in a highlight to stay forever. But this is where we're going to share expertise. So authority can be talking about areas. Authority can be, like it said, sharing expertise to build lasting trust. So show your authority that you at least know what you're talking about. Give some value, but don't, again, overload them. Make homes seem achievable and obtainable. That is the phrase that I made and I live by. Make home buying, again, may not work for, luxury, 2.5 million plus, because they got the money. But again, 1.5 million down, make home buying seem achievable and obtainable. But next is lifestyle. So again, you want to showcase local experiences and community to prove real life context. Like I'm going to show it down here in a second where we do talk about selling the dream, but you want to show local places. You can only get people hooked on a physical home for so long before they realize that I don't want to move to that area. But if you show the areas you work in, then they can be like, oh, I love that area that you posted about. Are there any homes around there that we can look at? Then you already know you have the location down. All you have to do is find the home. And then results. This is honestly a good framework to kind of have in your pinned posts because there is a strategy for that. Your who post, your what post, and your how post. But results, which is how you help others. Tell personal stories, highlight client successes. What I'll tell my own clients is in a how pin post, keep a 30 to 45-second testimonial, like chopping up 2 or 3 quick questions, hop on a 15-minute Zoom after every transaction with your client, and just have that so that then it seems authentic. It's Zoom. People will trust it, not like a super high quality testimonial. Because this framework transforms your Instagram from listing announcements into lead generation, showing that you get results. You don't need to overdo it. I see a bunch of businesses that overdo this. Keep a majority of lifestyle, and again, share real estate and build authority. So we need to become the go-to expert in our area. So we can share market insights. If you do not have a full video strategy on how to like speak on camera properly, then again, maybe just put it in your Instagram stories and create a highlight if you want to keep it there. You can bust common myths, um, which could be, do you need 20% down? Like, do I need that? Like, obviously, if I'm buying a $600,000 home, $600,000 home, 20% is like whatever. It's like what, 150, something like that, 125, maybe 150. Like, who nowadays has 150K in their bank account? Not many. Make homes seem achievable and obtainable. Different options. Help them show that it's easy to just get into the home and start there. Create educational content. Use carousels with photos. I don't do as many carousels, but they can work. And reels to deliver valuable solutions to a problem. Again, home buying, achievable, obtainable. Educational content can work when you do it in a great way. Like I do a POV style where I'll act as a videographer, and then in new clothes I'll act as the agent. And so you can do that. You can act as a client and then act as an agent. As like you're the same person, change clothes, maybe put on a hat, some glasses. It turns like if you were to just rant to a camera, probably take you like 3 minutes to film. To make this creative style POV reel might take you, 10 minutes to film, but it'll perform 100 times better. Role play is 2 different people, super easy. Storytelling, it's a hack. One of my craziest videos was done with that style. Again, we're selling the lifestyle, the dream, not just the home. This is from Brittany. Again, just local. 1,300 views just in April, which is like 20 days ago. Tuk Tuk, Thai street food in Sacramento. Again, location. What if this turns out to be someone's number one favorite spot because they tried it on your Instagram? Like that drives them to a location. And then feed them with real estate posts, maybe 20, 30%, but focus on the area. It doesn't always have to be a restaurant, but community highlights, neighborhoods, parks, schools, local gems your followers don't know about, day in the life, share authentic stories, share your personality, again, or client journeys to make genuine connections. Storytelling power, create posts that are 22 times more memorable by focusing on emotional narratives. This helps clients futurize, live and visualize their future lifestyle, not just property features. If you focus on property features, that's when you're like, okay, I closed maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 deals a year with content, just posting. Decent, like okay, but like everyone in my academy through, again, just this strategy closes 1 deal a month purely off of that strategy, minimum. I have guys now doing 5 to 7 deals a month, and I'll show you one of his videos right here. But here's like a good versus bad example if you don't see it yet, if it's not super clear. What doesn't work is just listed 123 Main Street saying, hello, welcome to this new home, whether it's a photo or a video. No story, no context, no focused only on the transaction. Again, feels like an ad, feels like an advertisement. But this is how I helped the Johnsons find their forever home after 6 months of searching. Maybe it was 6 months with another agent and they switched. They weren't comfortable with the other agent. Client journey storytelling, behind the scenes footage, local area walkthroughs. What I like to say, and the biggest thing, is document, don't create. Because you can, let's say, you're doing a home tour, you're documenting yourself at a neighborhood, a restaurant, anything. You're filming. You don't really want to speak, do your review while you're eating and all that. Document everything you're doing. Make sure you always have a ton of footage. Then when you get home, you can spend an hour and draft up like 5 or 10 Instagram reels. After using the frameworks that you have, script a voiceover at the end. With your footage, you can show your face, not talking, but show your face in the videos. That brands it, which means it's still good for your brand, even if you're not physically talking and vlogging to the camera. Like right here, this is what a home tour does well. I think this is Brittany, but it's another Brittany, like the other one before. This one has 1,700 likes. She has a small following, 1,700 likes, just posted a home tour. Again, she centered it well. She didn't put the text over the home. She had some room on top, some room on bottom, and the subject a little bit higher than the exact middle. She kept it a nice format. This literally took her like 5, maybe 10 minutes to make an Instagram. And that's what, 1,700 likes? I don't even think I have a video with 1,700 likes on my page right now. I think I have like 11 or 1,200. Like, you guys can, I talk to agents. You guys can talk to anyone in your local area. That's why. One of my favorite tips for, again, homes like this is you don't have to always start your home tour out showing the front of the home. She did. It looks nice. She put it in a creative format. But what if the front of the home just doesn't look good? Then start in the best feature of the home, whether it's the backyard or like a nice renovated kitchen family room area with the dining table. Start there. I had an agent do that who's not even a part of my academy, but I gave him that advice. He did it. And then that video did 30,000 views when some of his other ones around that were at like 5 to 15K. Story time. This is actually a format that I created when I was a videographer, which is creating fake stories. So we would actually script these where she'd be in kind of like a darker area, or she'd start in a library, something fun. You can start in your home and say, this is another episode of Real Estate Story Time. And then it would go into like this shot of her telling a story, which is a fake notebook here. But we use like AI to make fake stories, like things that can help people, like some people on a home tour. And like you can watch this video. Her name's Gina Marie Olson. You can look at this on her page. But that video, again, is super engaging and it's new. It's a style that I physically thought of and created, where you use ChatGPT, you make a fake story, and then you use B-roll, maybe some AI clips, or you could have someone act in it and be like, oh, this new family went into this new house, but the doors kept creaking and the attic opened up and then all of the lights shut off. It's a high-tech home and they got locked inside. And there's noise coming from the attic. You're still talking about real estate. You can inform people, but it's fun. But if you are ready for results, you need to take action. One thing you can do to just talk to me and just get on the phone, again, this wouldn't be like a normal quote unquote sales call. I want to give you a little audit, see where you're at and how we could actually help you. Because I've worked with mortgage and like loan officers, solo agents, and the most seasoned. Just DM me on Instagram the word deal. You can find that in the description of this video. We'll create a custom strategy for you, tailored to you. Even if you don't have enough time to film, there's always ways. So don't be hesitant. To generate real leads. I was on a phone call with Renata, one of my clients, the other day, and I got a testimonial. I literally put it on my Instagram, and I think she closed like one deal averaging a month. And she's still keeping consistent, but she doesn't have a big audience. She's from a small town. Again, just an extra deal a month is amazing from social media. And that's close. That's not just like deals signed. She has tons of more like clients. But if you do want to scale with organic content in YouTube, being your main lead gen source, like 70% plus within the next 4 months guaranteed, without worrying where your next deal is going to come from, just DM me the word deal to see what it looks like. There's some links down below in the description. But obviously, if you don't want to do that, that's totally okay. Follow the frameworks, and I have some other videos down. Actually, you'll see one right here down below. This is one of my best trainings that I've ever made, and it will break down everything I do in the Content Academy, and it might just give you a great start on where to go. So, peace out, buddies, realtors.